She was ready to walk away from love until he revealed, maybe fate brought us back together. The rain drummed softly against the window, mirroring the disarray in Claire's heart. It was just another Tuesday morning in Maplewood, and her bakery, Little Haven, was already filled with the warm aroma of freshly baked bread. Yet, beneath the comforting scent, a heaviness clung to her, a weight she couldn't shake. She was weary of being a single mother, of struggling to keep her business afloat, and of the loneliness that felt more present than the flower dust in the air. Love? That seemed far too risky now that as Claire whisked eggs. Her mind wandered back to the life she had once lived, a life filled with laughter, love, and togetherness that slipped away like sand through her fingers. Her ex-husband had vanished, leaving behind nothing but bills and heartache, forcing her to claw her way to independence. But independence came at a cost. With her children, Mia and Ben, to nurture, Claire had buried her feelings deep beneath the surface, convinced that love was a luxury she couldn't afford, but fate had other plans. Just as she slid a tray of blueberry muffins into the oven, the bell above the door jingled, interrupting her thoughts. When she turned, Claire's heart skipped. A familiar face stood before her, dripping rain as doubt mixed with fading hope swirled in her chest. James. Her childhood friend had returned from the military, bearing not just the spirit of nostalgia but the unmistakable spark of possibility. "Claire," he said, his voice rich and warm. "It's really you." She felt a blush creep across her cheeks as recognition hit like a gust of wind. Memories of laughter danced in her mind, their carefree days spent in the sun-dappled fields, shared whispers about dreams and future loves. "I didn't expect to see you home," she managed to say, her voice barely above a whisper. "Figured I'd help my community. Maybe get back to where it all began," James replied, a hint of a smile playing on his lips. It flickered in her chest, a reminder of the connection they once shared. The conversation flowed naturally, memories tumbling out among the warm pastries and freshly brewed coffee. Every laugh tugged at the cocoon she had stitched around her heart. But unease lingered just beneath the surface. Claire's heart raced not just from the thrill of rekindled friendship but from the familiar fear of vulnerability, a fear that had shielded her long enough. "Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen." Now let's continue. As the days rolled into weeks, Claire and James found themselves thrown back together during community events, their laughter mingling with the chorus of small-town life. Yet, just when her heart began to flutter with the excitement of connection, the town's economy took a nosedive. One by one, businesses began closing. Whispers filled the air, fear seeped into every corner of Maplewood, including her beloved bakery. One evening, as she counted dwindling supplies, the weight of reality pressed down on her consciousness. Her heart beat furiously in her chest. Would she lose everything she had built? As doubt clouded her mind, she spotted James in the distance, his presence a beacon of support. He stepped closer, his voice steady and sincere. "Claire, this town needs you. You are the heart of Little Haven. We can't lose that," he urged, his warmth wrapping around her like a comforting blanket. His words ignited something deep within her, a flicker of resilience that reminded her of who she was. As she gazed into his eyes, she felt an unexpected spark. But, even in that moment, the ghosts of her past haunted her thoughts, leaving her suspended between the comfort of solitude and the risk of opening her heart again. Was it finally time to embrace a chance at love? Or would she retreat back into safety once again? The clouds of uncertainty loomed ominously, leaving Claire breathless with hope and fear. The morning sun peeked through the bakery window, casting a warm glow across the countertops. Claire busied herself with the day's preparations, the smell of cinnamon and sugar filling the air. But unlike other mornings, she felt a flicker of energy that had been missing for so long. Maybe it was James' encouraging words that stirred something deep within her, or maybe it was the promise of new beginnings. She couldn't tell, but the spark of hope was undeniable. As she kneaded the dough, Her thoughts drifted to the moments they shared, the way he laughed, how his eyes lit up when he talked about his plans for the town's revitalization. Each encounter had shifted something inside her. It was as if he was slowly chipping away at the hard shell she built around her heart. But she still held back. Fear was a constant companion, whispering doubts and burying dreams. Could she really trust again? Just as she was about to lose herself in worry, the bell above the door rang, breaking her thoughts. James walked in, shaking off raindrops like a child returning from a day of play. He wore a simple blue hoodie that made him look more approachable. "Hey, Claire. Ready for the farmer's market this weekend?"
Yes.
"I have a few new recipes to try," she replied, her heartbeat quickening. The market was their town's lifeblood, a place where neighbors gathered, sharing stories and dreams over handmade goods. "I can't wait to see what you come up with." His enthusiasm was contagious, but Claire felt a sudden weight settle in her stomach. Was she really ready to put herself out there, to be vulnerable to the world and to him? "I hope people will still come. With the way things have been." She trailed off, her voice a whisper, uncertain of how to voice her fears. "Listen, Claire," he said, stepping closer and gently clasping her arm. "People love your bakery. You are more than just flour and sugar, you create memories. Don't forget that." His fingers felt warm against her skin, and for a split second, the world faded. All that existed was this moment, this connection. She looked up into those comforting eyes. "I know, but I also know how quickly things can change. What if I fail?" The words spilled out, a dam burst open to reveal her hidden fears. James took a deep breath, a serious look crossing his face. "What if you soar instead? For once, trust in yourself. I believe in you." His words hung in the air, enveloping her like a warm embrace. Claire felt something shift, as if a door within her cracked open just a little. Could she really lean into this? Could she open her heart to James not just for friendship, but for something deeper? Moments stretched on as they stood together in the bakery, the atmosphere charged with unspoken words and burgeoning possibilities. Claire's pulse thrummed in time with the unresolved tension, each second a reminder of the risk she was considering. Finally, breaking the silence, he said, "I'd like to help you at the market. We can brainstorm new ideas together." A smile tugged at her lips, her heart swelling with a mixture of fear and excitement. "That would be nice. I think I'd like that." He grinned, that familiar smile making her heart flutter. "Great. Let us show them what Little Haven can do. Together." But Claire's thoughts turned again, for every step forward felt like a leap into the unknown. She'd need to muster the courage to embrace this change, to consider that maybe love wasn't the perilous cliff she feared. That night, as she tucked her children into bed, she whispered promises of better days to come, not just for them, but for herself, too. Was she ready to let love in? Was she ready to speak her truth? As she lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, it felt like she was standing at the edge of a precipice, toes dangling over the edge. With her heart racing, she realized, if she wanted to make a life for herself and her children, she had to take that leap. But could she truly allow herself to fall for James? Tomorrow would bring the market, the laughter, and perhaps a chance to open herself in ways she hadn't dared imagine. And as Claire closed her eyes, a single thought echoed through her mind. Could this be the beginning of everything she had wished for, or would it all come crashing down? The morning dawned with a crisp freshness that hinted at new beginnings. Claire woke up early, the sun painting her kitchen in soft shades of gold. Today wasn't just another Saturday, it was the day of the farmer's market, a monumental event in Little Haven. She felt a tightness in her chest, a heady mix of anticipation and nerves. Her children were still asleep, their gentle breaths a comforting rhythm in the quiet house. As she stirred the batter for her special cinnamon rolls, she couldn't shake the feeling that today was different. Today, she felt the world open up before her, a blank canvas waiting to be painted with possibilities. She glanced at the clock, feeling the pressure build. The market would be bustling soon, and she still had several things to prepare. The thought of James there with her brought both excitement and trepidation. He would be a constant presence, a reminder of what she longed for but was terrified to reach for a connection, a chance at love. As she placed the rolls in the oven, her thoughts drifted back to the warmth of his hand on her arm, the way he made her feel seen and valued. A wild mix of emotions surged through her, a longing that filled the void she'd been carrying for too long. "Mommy. Can we go now?" Her youngest called from the hallway, his sleepy voice breaking the spell of her reverie. "Yes, buddy. Time to get ready." She turned to him, forcing a smile despite the butterflies flitting around her stomach. The market was bustling as they arrived. The vibrant colors of fruits, vegetables, and handmade crafts seemed to dance in the sunlight. Claire's heart raced as she set up her stall, arranging her mouth-watering treats with care. She focused on the familiar ritual, allowing the rhythm of her movements to center her. Then, she spotted him across the aisle. James was chatting with an older lady who sold jams and preserves. His laugh echoed across the market, cheerful and warm. It made her heart clench, not in fear, but in hope. He caught her eye and waved, his smile brightening the gray that had seeped into her heart over the years. "Ready to rock this?" he said as he approached, his presence filling the space around them. "Let us do it," she replied, her confidence swelling with each moment they spent together. As the morning wore on, they engaged with customers, sharing stories and laughter, drawing in folks who wandered by. Each smile, each compliment was a brick laid in the foundation she was building, one of trust. Claire noticed that her worries began to fade, the love and support from the community were evident, and more importantly, so was James' unwavering belief in her. But just when everything felt right, a shadow fell over her moment of happiness. An old friend of Claire's came by, someone who represented memories of pain from her past. Sarah's eyes were cold and probing as she assessed the scene, a skeptical eyebrow raised. "You decide to come back into the world, Claire? Thought you wanted to keep hiding," she remarked, her tone laced with judgment. Claire's heart raced, the wind knocked out of her sails. Suddenly, she felt exposed, all her insecurities rushed back, clamoring for attention. James stepped between them, his expression firm yet kind. "Actually, Claire's not hiding. She's building something beautiful here," he said fiercely. The air buzzed with unspoken words, and Claire felt a wave of gratitude wash over her. She had almost forgotten how much strength she possessed when surrounded by those who believed in her. "Thank you," she whispered, her eyes locking with his. But in that moment, she also realized not everyone would understand her journey. Was she truly ready to embrace the vulnerability this new path demanded? As the market carried on, she fought silently against self-doubt, the weight of expectation heavy on her shoulders. Could she show both her children and James that she was worth taking a chance on? At the end of the day, as the sun set, casting a warm glow over Little Haven, an unexpected sense of clarity washed over Claire. She could feel the world shifting around her. What if the fate that had brought her and James together was about to reveal something astonishing? Claire took a deep breath, the aroma of her freshly baked treats mixing with an overwhelming sense of hope. The day had been good, but what if tomorrow brought something even better? What if today was just the beginning, and the real adventure was yet to unfold? The next morning arrived with the promise of something new lingering in the air. Claire awoke, sunlight filtering through her curtains, casting playful patterns across her room. Last night's events swirled in her mind, the raw emotions and the unexpected bravery she had felt staying close to her heart. With renewed determination, she swung her legs over the side of the bed, ready to face the day. After getting the kids ready, Claire couldn't shake the buzz of anticipation. The farmer's market was today again, and this time, she felt more than just ready, she felt powerful. A fire ignited within her the moment she remembered James standing up for her. There was a tangible connection growing between them, and for the first time, she felt as if she could embrace it without fear. The smell of cinnamon rolls wafted through her kitchen as she began preparing breakfast. The kids giggled, their enthusiasm infectious. Their laughter echoed around the house, momentarily drowning out her worries, reminding her why she was fighting for a brighter future. Together, they made their way to the market, excitement bubbling in the air. When they arrived, Claire felt a sense of belonging wash over her. The vibrant colors and joyful chatter felt like home. She set up her stall, each item looking more delicious than the last, but her attention was pulled toward the familiar figure of James. He was helping others set up their booths, his friendly charm evident as he carried boxes and lifted crates with ease. "Hey, superstar," he called out as he caught sight of her, striding over, his smile bright and genuine. "Superstar?" Claire teased, rolling her eyes but unable to hide her smile. James leaned against her table, his presence enveloping her like a cozy blanket. "You're the one bringing in the crowds with those amazing treats. Besides, someone has to support the local star." His eyes sparkled with mischief, making her heart flutter. "What if today brings new surprises?" Claire said, the thrill of possibility lacing her words. "Then let us be ready to embrace them." He flashed his trademark grin, and in that moment, the coaxing warmth in his gaze made her heart leap. As the morning unfolded, Claire felt comfortable with him by her side, the chatter of marketgoers blending into the background. They worked together, sharing banter and laughter. It felt easy, much easier than she anticipated. The doubts that had clouded her mind slowly faded away under the bright sun and the infectious spirit of the market, but then, the moment of joy evaporated like fog under the sun. As they chatted, Claire noticed Sarah across the market, her presence a looming storm cloud. She was deep in conversation with a group, her expressions sharp, her gaze darting over to Claire and James, almost as if searching for something. An uncomfortable knot twisted in Claire's stomach. Had Sarah spoken to others about her? Was she still the subject of gossip? She instinctively stepped closer to James, needing his strength. "Don't mind her," he said softly, noticing her unease. "You're not defined by your past. You're creating something incredible." The conviction in his words filled her with warmth, but uncertainty lingered. Would Sarah's judgment crush the progress she'd made? "Thanks for being here," Claire admitted, vulnerability tinging her tone. "Always," he replied, his voice steady. "But you need to be the one embracing this new chapter fully. You deserve that." Their eyes locked, and Claire felt a spark of courage ignite within her, the urge to confront the past head-on. What if facing Sarah could also mean embracing her new life? As the market began to wind down, Claire's heart raced. James' unwavering support made her feel stronger than she had in years, yet she couldn't help but question what would happen if she took a stand against her past, facing Sarah once and for all. Would she finally discover the truth about herself? Underneath the golden sky, she inhaled deeply, feeling the simmering tension mixed with hope. Tomorrow was not just another day, it held the potential for growth and discovery, a chance to redefine everything she had thought she lost. Could she find the strength to confront her demons and emerge empowered? The next chapter of her life was waiting to be written, and it felt tantalizingly close. The morning brought with it a new kind of energy, the kind that felt electric as Claire prepared for the day. As she sipped her coffee, she recalled the moment from the night before when she felt the warmth of James's gaze. Could this truly be her moment of change? With the kids at school, she drove to the market alone, her heart a mix of excitement and anxiety. The stalls were already bustling as she set up, but this time, her mind was focused not just on her goods, but on the impending conversation with Sarah. Just as she arranged the last of her baked goods, she spotted Sarah walking toward her. The air thickened with unspoken words. Sarah's usual confidence seemed more of a mask today, her demeanor tight. Claire took a deep breath. Maybe it was time to let the past breathe its last. "Claire," Sarah called out. Her voice was steady, but there was an underlying tension, like a cord stretched taut. "We need to talk." Claire's heart raced. This was it, no turning back. "Sure. Let us talk." As they stepped aside from the crowd, the market bus shifted slightly, almost as if everything paused to eavesdrop. Claire felt her pulse quicken, the moment spiraling into something bigger than just a conversation. "I've heard things," Sarah began, her voice softer now. "About you and James." "How does that matter?" Claire replied, her own voice surprising her with its strength. "You don't get to dictate my life anymore." Sarah looked taken aback, her brow furrowing in confusion. "I just want what's best for you," she defended, but the tremor in her tone betrayed her uncertainty. Do you really? Claire challenged. Or are you just worried about what everyone else thinks? The two women stood there, both on the brink of something. Claire felt power surging through her, and maybe, just maybe, it was time to reveal a truth of her own. Sarah, I know we've had our differences, but I've been trying to be better for my kids, for myself. The gossip? It doesn't define me anymore. I'm done being scared of your judgment. Claire, please, Sarah started to say, but Claire interrupted her. Did you ever stop to think that perhaps your words hurt more than you realized? That they kept me living in shadows? I want to own my story now. I want to be free. For a moment, time hung still. Claire felt a mixture of fear and liberation, raw vulnerability exposing deep wells of truth. She didn't want to fight, but maybe this was what it meant to reclaim her life. Sarah's expression softened. I didn't mean to push you away. I just wanted to protect you. But I see now that I might be helped push you to a place of hurt instead. That admission hung in the air, and Claire realized this moment might not just be about confronting a past relationship, it could also mean forging a new understanding. A smile crept across Sarah's face, tentative but genuine. Maybe we can start fresh? Claire nodded, feeling the weight lift slightly off her shoulders. The fear of judgment was still there, but now woven with threads of hope. I'd like that. Just then, a loud commotion erupted from the other end of the market. Claire turned, her heart jumping in her chest as she saw James standing there, surrounded by curious onlookers, laughter escaping his lips. He looked so at ease, so confident, and her heart swelled with warmth. Looks like he's thriving, Sarah noted, glancing sideways. Do you think he's worth the risk? Absolutely, Claire replied without hesitation. With newfound determination, she approached James, the fleeting doubts now dissolving into excitement. The moment felt transformative, but would it evolve into something concrete, the kind of love that could withstand the scrutiny of those watching? As their eyes locked, Claire could hardly contain her exuberance. The playful banter they shared felt like a dance, and this time, she knew exactly the step she wanted to take, but just as she reached him, a sharp voice called from the crowd. What are you doing with him? Sarah's tone pierced the moment. Caught between the past and the potential of new love, Claire's heart raced. Was she really prepared to embrace this? And more importantly, could she finally walk away from the shadows for good? Whatever came next, it was clear this was the chapter that would change everything. Claire's breath hitched as she turned back to the crowd, her eyes darting to the source of the questioning voice. Sarah's words sliced through the moment like glass, sharp and unyielding. For a second, Claire felt everything freeze. James's smile faded, replaced by a flicker of confusion. Claire began, but uncertainty tangled her thoughts. The vibrant energy of the market dulled as a collective gaze landed on her. She felt as if all eyes were focused on this delicate tightrope she was walking between her past and the glimmer of a possible future. Caught between two worlds, Claire drummed her fingers against her hips, fighting the urge to shrink back. I'm doing what I want, and I'm not ashamed of it, she said, her voice steady but laced with a tremor of vulnerability. James deserves to be treated like any other person here without judgment. Claire, please, Sarah pressed, her words tumbling out with a rush. I just thought you realized what this could mean. Why does it matter to you? Claire shot back. You want to protect me? What about my happiness? Or does that not fit your definition? The crowd murmured softly, a wave of tension sweeping through them. Claire stole a glance at James. His face was a mix of concern and admiration, but was he still considering her a risk? It sent a jolt through her system. It's not just about you, Sarah replied, her voice less forceful now. People talk, they remember. I don't want you to hurt. That's just it, Claire replied, frustration bubbling to the surface. I've hurt long enough. If I fall, let it be my choice. I'm ready to embrace whatever comes next, with or without your approval. Silence hung heavy between them. In that stillness, Claire sensed the tension in Sarah's shoulders relax, a small victory blooming in that space. But the weight of everyone's focus felt like chains dragging her back. Suddenly, James stepped forward. He scanned the crowd, then looked straight at her, his gaze steady. "This isn't just about what they might say, Claire," he interjected, his voice calm. "It's about us. What do you want?" It felt like a dare. Taking a deep breath, she stepped closer to him, her heart racing in a surge of newfound boldness. "I want to see where this goes," she admitted, her voice barely above a whisper, but somehow the crowd managed to catch every word. "You know the stakes," he replied softly, eyes glinting with something deeper than mere attraction. There was respect, understanding, genuine care. "I do," she said, her heart pounding. "But I've been listening to everyone else for too long. Now, it's time for me to hear myself." With those words, it was as if a dam broke. A surge of eager approval rippled through the onlookers, some nodding, others exchanging surprised glances. "Then let us not let fear make our decisions," James said, stepping in closer. "Let us just enjoy this moment. Together?" she asked, taking a leap of faith. "Together," he affirmed, his smile returning, bright as the morning sun. Just then, a loud crash echoed from behind them, an overturned cart. Fresh produce scattered across the ground, sending shockwaves of gasps through the market. Claire turned, feeling the tension shatter like fragile glass. Laughter erupted as playful chaos ensued, children running to help clean up, adults chuckling at the scene. Claire's head spun. It was jarring yet freeing. "See?" she called back to James amidst the laughter, her heart swelling with exhilaration. Just like life, unexpected, messy, but still so vibrant. As she caught his gaze, it was their confidence shared. The world might have its opinions, but there was a brighter path lit just for them. Yet amidst the whirlwind energy, a thought lingered at the back of her mind. As laughter swirled around them, would facing the unexpected really transform her life? And what would happen when the dust settled, revealing the truth behind her leap? It was only the beginning of a journey that would test them both. The laughter faded into a heartwarming hum, and for a moment, Claire felt suspended in time, embraced by the joy escalating around her. But another involuntary tug from uncertainty pulled her back. While the merriment swirled, something deeper still loomed. What would happen after this moment? James stood close, his warmth radiating reassurance. He reached out and gently brushed a stray hair behind her ear. "You okay?" he asked, concern etched across his features. She nodded, forcing a smile, trying to shake off the lingering worry that clung to her like a shadow. As the crowd returned to their activities, Claire felt a spark of determination. This was her moment. She wanted to take chances, to be alive, but she also wanted to share it with him. "Let us go for a walk," she suggested, her heartbeat quickening with excitement. James raised an eyebrow. "A walk? Right now?" "Yes, I need some fresh air to sort through everything swirling inside." "Lead the way," he replied, and together they wove through the scattered fruits and friendly bickering of the market crowd, heading towards a quieter part of the square where a band had begun to play soft melodies. The music wafted over them, mingling with the fresh scent of blooming flowers from a nearby stall. Claire felt herself begin to unwind as they found a bench in a shaded corner, away from prying eyes. "What are you thinking?" he asked, leaning forward, elbows on his knees, his gaze piercing yet tender. I needed to know I wasn't just making a rash decision. With you, it feels different. I don't want fear to control my choices anymore." Claire glanced down, tracing patterns in the wood of the bench with her finger. "But part of me still wonders if I made the right choice." James didn't say anything for a moment, and that silence felt heavy. It was a space filled with unspoken worries, hopes, and expectations. Finally, he spoke, his voice soft yet firm. "It's normal to worry. What we're stepping into is new territory." "But Claire," he paused, weighing his words. "If we don't take this chance, we'll never know what could have been." She looked up, meeting his eyes, which were filled with sincerity. "What if we fall? Then we pick ourselves up, learn, and keep going." His smile was both inviting and reassuring. "We owe it to ourselves to try, don't you think?" Her heart fluttered, and she felt a rush of something akin to hope. Yeah, I want to see where this goes. But the reprieve was short-lived. A shrill voice cut through their moment, shattering the fragile bubble. Claire! There you are. It was Sarah, breathless, her eyes wide with determination. I've been looking for you. Claire felt her stomach drop. Just when she had gathered the confidence to truly explore the connection blooming between her and James, her friend barreled in like a storm cloud. Sarah, not now, Claire said, irritation simmering beneath the surface. No, you need to listen to me. This isn't just about you too. What if I told you there are things you don't know? Her voice was interrupted by an anxious beat of silence, drawing Claire's attention like a magnet. James looked between them, sensing the tension, and Claire's thoughts raced. What could Sarah possibly have to say that would complicate everything? Claire took a deep breath, her heart pounding louder than the distant music. There was a brewing storm of questions, fear, and something more secrets waiting to unfold. Just tell me, she said, her voice steady despite the chaos inside her. What do you mean? And as Sarah opened her mouth to speak, Claire's mind raced with dread. What truth lay beneath the surface, waiting to change everything they were just beginning to build? Could possibly embracing love mean navigating through more than just her fears? Sarah hesitated for a moment, her lips parting as if searching for the right words. The screech of the surrounding market faded into a distant hum as Claire focused intently on her friend. Dread coiled in her stomach. What could possibly be waiting just beneath the surface of their connection? Was it another chance, or was it a harbinger of doom? Last week, I heard something, Sarah started, her voice dropping to a whisper. The sincerity in her eyes flickered with urgency. Something about James. Claire's heart raced. What about him? It's complicated, Claire. You need to know, he has a history, Sarah said, glancing at James, who remained silent but alert, the look on his face taut with unspoken tension. History? Claire echoed, her voice barely above a whisper. What do you mean? Before you both got close, James was involved with someone else. Something went downhill, and it was messy. I heard rumors, and I think you deserve to know. Each word fell like a stone, heavy and unsettling. Claire's mind swirled. She watched James, seeking any indication of guilt or pretense. Instead, he was looking back at her, confusion dancing in his eyes. Claire felt the breath catch in her throat, an unsettling mix of anger and fear coursing through her veins. Is it true? She demanded, turning to him. Did you have a relationship before me? Why didn't you tell me? James stared for a moment, searching her face for the intertwining strands of confusion and hurt. Claire, his voice was steady, I didn't think it mattered. That was in the past. You're the one I want now. But what if it's not over? What if there is something you're not telling me? The words tumbled out, raw and unguarded. Sarah stepped forward, her expression shifting to one of empathy. I just don't want you to get hurt. I'm worried there are pieces you might not understand. Claire felt torn, the weight of the decision climbing higher on her shoulders. The joy she had felt just moments ago felt like a distant memory, replaced by a growing tide of anxiety. What had felt like a beautiful possibility now hung precariously in the balance. Maybe you should just listen to your friend, James said, his voice low, a hint of hurt echoing in the silence between them. No, I want the truth from you, Claire insisted, her eyes locked on his. I need to know what exactly I'm getting into. Are you still feeling something for her? Was it really just a fling? James ran a hand through his hair, frustration etched on his face. It was a difficult time for me, Claire. I didn't want to carry that baggage into something new. I thought we were starting fresh. She felt the question thaw into a deeper worry within her. If they were supposed to start fresh, could she truly trust him? And could she trust herself not to falter? It's not that simple, Sarah interjected, her voice rising as emotion bubbled under the surface. This is about more than feelings. It's about the choices we make based on the past. You have to think carefully, Claire. Tension hung thick in the air, and the mounting feelings of uncertainty threatened to drown her. Claire closed her eyes and took a deep breath, trying to find a thread of clarity. As she opened them again, the faces of her friend and James remained, but the choice was hers alone to make. "Tell me the truth, James," she said, tears pricking her eyes. "What do you really want?" Just then, the band struck a lively chord, filling the air with sound, but it clashed starkly with the silence reverberating in the space around them. She wasn't sure if she could face the answer she so desperately needed to hear, and as the crowd continued their celebration unaware, Claire felt the walls of her world start to close in. What came next would either bind them closer or tear them apart forever. She hoped for the former, but was prepared for the latter. Will James share the truth, or will fear hold him back? James took a moment, the silence stretching uncomfortably as he weighed his options. Claire felt time freeze like a snapshot, every heartbeat drumming louder in her chest. Just then, the vibrant music from the nearby band swelled, echoing through the market, contrasting sharply with the turmoil within her. James finally spoke, his voice low but firm. "It's not what you think." His eyes searched hers, desperation flickering in their depths. "What I had before it hurt a lot. But you're different. You make me want to be better." "Different how?" she asked, the bitterness creeping back into her throat as doubt gnawed at her. "It's about closure," he replied, an edge of frustration creeping in. "With my past, I had to let go, and I thought I did. But then we met, and everything changed. I didn't want to bring my old scars into something beautiful with you." He reached out, brushing his fingers against her arm. "I wanted a clean slate, a chance to show you how I feel." Claire pulled back slightly, the heat of his touch igniting her hope and fear all at once. "And your past? Is it truly over?" "I swear to you, the past is behind me. I thought you knew what we had was different. I love what we've created together, and I don't want to lose it." His voice seemed raw, almost breaking. "What if she comes back?" Claire pressed, still wary, needing more assurance. "What if she tries to contact you?" James shook his head fervently. "She won't. I promise. I wouldn't let that happen." "You can't promise that," Sarah intervened, and Claire felt a wash of solidarity from her friend. "Things can change, people can change. Claire, just be careful." The weight of their scrutiny left Claire feeling exposed. She glanced around, the colors of the market swirling like the confusion in her head. The laughter, the joy, it all felt so far away now. But there was a part of her, a flicker of hope, that wanted to believe. "It sounds like you're trying to convince me you can shed something so heavy," she said, lowering her voice as she fought the tears threatening to spill. "But trust doesn't just happen. It's built. How do I know I can trust you?" He took a step closer, closing the gap between them. "By giving me a chance. By letting me show you how serious I am about us. I can't change the past, but I can do everything to make our future brighter." Claire felt the sting of tears now, her heart battling against her mind. Part of her wanted to run because the fear was suffocating, but another part pleaded to stay, to believe in what could grow from this moment. "What if I walk away, James? What then?" she whispered, the tremor of her voice thick with emotion. "Then it would be the biggest mistake of my life," he replied, his eyes never leaving hers, and as the crowd cheered, celebrating some special moment, Claire found herself at a crossroads. Too many emotions tangled inside her, and she knew what she decided here could define everything. It was both exhilarating and terrifying. All she had to do was take a leap and trust that he was worth the risk, that their connection could withstand whatever shadows lingered from the past. But just as she began to open her mouth to voice her decision, a sudden commotion erupted from across the market. A familiar voice, sharp and demanding, cut through the music, a voice Claire didn't want to hear. "James!" it called, fierce and filled with entitlement. Claire's heart sank, ice slithering into her veins. She turned to see a striking figure weaving through the crowd, a haunting reminder of everything she feared. What now? Was this the moment everything fell apart? The crowd at the market seemed to hold its breath as Claire's worst fears stepped into the light. A tall woman with a confident stride cut through the joyful chaos, her presence stark against the colorful booths. Everyone turned to watch her approach, whispers igniting behind eager hands. James. The woman called again, the name slicing through the air like a knife. Claire's stomach twisted, anxiety flooding her veins. She felt James tense beside her, the warmth of their moment dissipating. Lila, he murmured, his voice barely audible. The woman didn't hesitate. She reached them and paused, her gaze flickering between Claire and James. You disappeared. I've been trying to reach you. Claire's heart raced, a whirlwind of emotions swirling through her. She locked eyes with James, searching for reassurance, but what she found instead was a turbulent storm of concern rivaling her own. Not now, Lila, James said, his tone firm but weary. You don't get to just walk back into my life after everything. Oh, come on. This is ridiculous. Lila shot back, her voice dripping with disbelief. You were gone, and now you're here? You never told me about the bakery. The crowd grew restless, tension thickening like fog around them. Claire felt the weight of the world crashing down. All the fears, anxieties, and insecurities that she had been trying so hard to manage rushed to the surface. She had taken a leap, only to find the safe harbor rippling with the uncertainty of James's past. James, who is she? Claire asked, her voice trembling. She felt exposed, raw against the sharpness of this reality. James took a step forward, trying to shield Claire with his presence. Lila was a chapter one needed to close, a mistake I learned from. But I'm here to start anew, and I want that to be with you, Claire. His plea echoed with sincerity, but Claire still felt the doubt gnawing at her heart. Honey, you didn't close anything. You think she's just going to let you go that easily? Lila laughed an ugly sound. He's not who you think he is, Claire. Stop it. James exploded, stepping toward Lila. I'm not the same person I was, and you don't get to hold that over my head anymore. Claire took a trembling breath, conflict clawing at her. Did she trust James? Did she believe enough in the bond they had built? Or was this a reminder of how easily things could fall apart? Claire, James's gaze softened, desperation etched across his features. You're everything I've dreamed of since coming back. I don't want my past to dictate my future. I want to build that future with you. But Lila didn't back down. You don't know what you're really getting into. James and I had plans together. You really think you can change him? The crowd listened, murmurs washing over them like waves crashing on shore. Claire felt their judgment creeping in, amplifying her insecurities. But then, she remembered the warmth of James's laughter, the safety she had begun to find in him. She thought about the dam she had allowed to crack open and the new life that awaited her. It felt within reach, just beyond the chaos. In a moment of clarity, she stepped forward, feeling the courage well up inside her. James is right. We can't let the weight of the past stifle what's right in front of us. It's my choice to believe in us, James. Her voice carried, steady and clear, cutting through Lila's accusations. Lila opened her mouth, but Claire continued, You may have shared a piece of his past, but I refuse to let it dictate my future. What we have is real, and I'm not afraid anymore. Just you wait. I'm not done, Lila threatened, but Claire stood tall, rooted in her decision. Then perhaps you should have thought about that before walking away, James said firmly, stepping closer to Claire, their joined front creating a unity that felt electric. Claire felt the warmth radiate off him, a true ally against the storm. Seeing the fear flicker in his eyes replaced with newfound resolve galvanized her determination. She had chosen to embrace love, to step into the light. Lila hissed a final remark, retreating into the crowd, leaving her voice hanging like smoke. As the market came alive again, laughter flooding back in waves, Claire could feel the weight lifting. She looked at James, eyes shining with unspoken understanding. Let us go for that walk, he said, relief washing over his features. Yes, Claire replied. Together. Hand in hand, they strolled through the market, everything around them transformed. The vibrant colors now pulsed with the life of possibility. Claire's heart felt light as laughter echoed in the distance, reminding her that they were finally stepping away from shadows and into the light of their own choosing. Through all the struggle, the conversations about love, the moments of fear, they had both learned and grown. A world of new beginnings lay ahead, and together, they would create a future filled with warmth and laughter, a shared journey ignited by love. And as they walked, Claire couldn't help but smile. Every obstacle had brought them closer, and now, she felt free. Not just from the past, but to embrace all the joy that came next, whatever that may be. Remember, if you want to follow more stories of growth, love, and transformation, you need to subscribe now. This is the moment to show your support. Hit that like button to feed the algorithm. Comment below your thoughts about this powerful conclusion, and share this story instantly with at least 5 friends. Trust me, they need to see this magic unfold. Don't wait not even one more second.